I love it to have so many guitar duos. Then BAND-MAID too. You know, I love it when have like two badass girls doing. Yeah, I love it. This is what I'm here for. Absolutely. I have to say though, god damn it, how much I love Midori. Just standing there, she's headbanging with her hair. I mean, you know, I keep saying it, but so I'm just laughing to myself here. So I'm gonna make this video, but I started laughing to myself, right? Because I'm gonna make it. Before I started talking, I wanted to find, you know, the correct image, a cool image here of this performance, right? And instead of looking for, I don't know, like a fire or some flames, some, you know, pyramid, I don't know, whatever in that point, I was like, who is Midori? Where's a good image of Midori? I was like, oh, this is, yes. This is perfect. So anyway, hello everyone. You know, I love Midori. I love gals, right? Obviously, Marin-chan, I keep saying it, right? For me, this is finally the highlight, right? Having, you know, both Marin and Mice up back, whatever, anime so on. Nerdy, weeaboo stuff. But, I'm gonna watch another Lovebites here. And for that matter, I do see a lot of people saying, oh, this is a Viking, you know. And some people have commented before also, of course. A lot of Japanese and some Chinese comments as well, right? So on, right? And to some extent, people call me Thor, obviously, because I'm the real Thor, right? There's some Australian fake guy. But anyway, I was thinking about it, last comment section. People were talking about, you know, oh, it's the real Viking era or whatever. So I will leave a comment below for this, guys. And if you really want to see me go into the historical aspect, a little more Viking stuff, and a little more, you know, maybe unique take on it, right? Smash that button, and my comment then, because that could be an interesting video. The problem with the video is I like doing those videos, like historical videos, but the problem is that for me, right, they track incredibly poor on YouTube. Let's be honest here. I basically should make another channel, right, if I want to talk about some other stuff, because now YouTube is like, okay, this is like a reactor, it makes a pop video, whatever, right? If I'm doing like a historical video, YouTube is like, it gets one view, you know what I mean? But actually, my grandfather was a professor of history and mathematics, so I know everything there is to know, okay, about history. I used to live with my grandparents every summer then, because both were teachers, right? So they were, you know, off for about 2 months, right? Every summer, I used to live with them at their house that is like very famous, like I would say, a tourist island in Sweden, and they would just lecture me all the time. I had like 8-hour lectures every day, right? Constantly, which sounds terrible, but no, I love it. I'm a nerd. I love it, right? So my grandfather taught me everything about historic stuff, you know, and also of course maths, right? So it's a side note. When I was 6 years old and I started elementary school, right, I was already doing like high school math. So I was about like 7, maybe 8 years ahead in math and, you know, physics and chemistry and so on, right? So you know, whatever. That's not a video, but I basically like the real life Sheldon Cooper in something like that. But whatever. Here for anime now, the music. And after this thing, I will check out also what's called panties, stockings, and garter belt. I might make a video about that. It's an old Trigger show that has been airing for like 10 years, but actually it has to be longer. Jesus Christ, I remember it airing like when I was in college. Jesus Christ, man, I'm an old man. I'm an old white bearded Viking guy right there. When I was in college, this old anime aired, which was, it's very weird, okay? It was like Powerpuffs, but it transformed into this AiNA. It creates this anime ever, but is it the weirdest live action? It's the weirdest show ever, and I'm gonna watch it today and see if I still, I mean, I loved it back in those days, right? But now I feel it's been like, you know, 15 years since then, honestly, at least, right? 10 years at least, yeah. And it's like, is it still good, you know? Coming out, or whatever. I digress. Anyway, let's check out Lovebites. So in this video then, we're gonna watch, of course, Lovebite, Set the World on Fire. Now, as I said yesterday, everyone keeps, you know, it's like 500 comments. Everyone is mentioning their own, like, this is what you should react to, right? And someone wrote, just roll the dice, everything is awesome. And I say, instead of rolling the dice, I'm gonna pick the song that I like the title of the most, right? So this one, and also Swan Song, because I really love the whole idea of a Swan Song, right? Like the last promo or whatever. But I felt that Swan Song, even though I really like that title for anything, I think it's a great title for, like, you know, movies or TV shows or whatever, Supernatural, whatever. I feel that Swan Song is like, that should be the last time, right? That should be the last time I react to Lovebites and do a Lovebites review. It should be the last time. So now instead, I want to set the world on fire. Yeah, set the world on fire. Very positive. It's very red, yes. this is badass. Yeah, I was been saying, I mean, yeah, of course Midori is my favorite, but still, I think her like cool guitarist is also very nice, yeah. I have to say though, god damn it, how much I love Midori. Just standing there, she's headbanging with her hair. I mean, you know, I keep saying it, but I feel like I'm broken record, guys. But I really love gals, right? You know, obviously I have Maori behind me, in front of me. I have two Maori everywhere. But I really love, you know, Japanese gyro subculture. I keep saying it. I made several videos about it. I don't mean anime. I mean, it's about talking about the actual culture, the language, right, and so on. So, and also, of course, I love Yankees. The Yankees, you know, it's like a badass, tough boy, tough girl, right? Like a tomboy usually. And of course, the ultimate thing in Japanese subculture is a Yankee gal, right? That's the ultimate thing. Yankee gyro cannot be better, right? So I don't know, but I keep saying it, but I really love Midori. She's standing here, this hair, her outfit, you know, her all the color scheme is like the ultimate visual appearance for me. Okay, I'm super biased. I'm incredibly biased, but yeah, I really love women. That is, I mean, seriously. But also, it's to point out, I mean, I love it, like gal culture in Japan, absolutely. But overall, you know, I kind of like the whole, because it comes from America, it's inspired by America, right? And I do like it there too. So just like a side note, I was very recently in Florida, like last month I was in Florida, and I was in the northwestern coast, in the Gulf in Florida. And of course I also love seeing a lot of like American women in like, you know, similar kind of valley girl in Florida as well. Awesome, it's awesome. But anyway, it keeps going, but yeah, I mean, it's like seeing Midori with the fire, I was like, oh god, it's so awesome. It's so god, it's so visually awesome. It's on English. It's crossed my mind, guys. I didn't think about too much in the previous two videos I watched, but yeah, she does sing in English, and I guess this song is fully here in English. That's The World on Fire. And what do you guys think about that? I think it is very common, right, for Japanese bands to sing in English. I mean, in my own band, maybe I talk about that a lot, but BAND-MAID, I think they do this in a very typical Japanese way, where they will sing in Japanese, right? And then they have like, hey, hey, and they have like, boy, you, hey, hey, kind of like that. Or they have like a few English words, or like, you know, love, or some kind of like conceptual word, kind of basic English word everyone can recognize, so to speak. They don't kind of say, you know, like some weird English word that no one knows what it is, right? But these are like common terms. People kind of like, oh yeah, I recognize that for like love or something, right? I.e. then in the Japanese, or kärlek then for Vikings, right? So what do you think about that? Because I guess this band here, I'm only on my number third song, right? But I guess I go back and forth maybe a little bit. Some songs are in Japanese, some are in English. But what I guess from experience, most Japanese bands, I would say, do the mixture thing where they sing in Japanese and they kind of have a few words in English every now and then. But yeah, let's go. I love it. It has so many guitar duos. Then bad too. I love it when have like two badass girls doing. Yeah, I love it. This is what I'm here for. Absolutely. Okay, we gotta read what's of course this part here. Guitar battle. Fire stuff, of course. Burn the world down. No, but seriously, I love this thing. I mentioned it a lot in my BAND-MAID video. If you guys are new here, of course, to my channel, right, coming from Lovebites, is that I'm a huge fan of Kiss, especially. I said many videos that I grew up with, right? Me and my best friend we used to do Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley as like, you know, Halloween and so on, right? Both our fathers played in a band, and they played a similar kind of rock to Kiss and all the like Guns N' Roses and so forth, right? So yeah, for me, I grew up heavily with like Kiss, AC/DC, right? Of course, Iron Maiden. I remember my father loved, the classic Iron Maiden LP, the big one here, also that one, right? And so forth, right? So I'm a big fan of this stuff. And one thing, I said on the video, but see, I said again, because I like it much, is that I love amusement parks. Okay? I mentioned it, that I was in Florida a few months ago, right? Or a few weeks ago. But that time, I was in the northwest of Florida, right? And my favorite place to Florida was Orlando, right? And every time I see this stuff with the fire, it also reminds me how much I love the Mummy ride at Universal. I should be a PR, I should pay me for this. No, but I really love it. And if you love this kind of stuff, right, you should really definitely visit like Universal and Disneyland and so on. And it's a different thing, I think it's a very different thing because it's quite expensive, right? But it's the whole journey, actually going through the whole park and so on, I think is very interesting. And it's part in Orlando, where I think in other countries, right, where I'm used to mostly, because of kind of park, it's kind of like it's a ride. You go to ride, you go to ride, But there, the whole place is an experience, right? Getting into the Mummy is an experience. But anyway, the Mummy itself then has like flamethrowers, it's dark and everything. It's the coolest experience ever. And I believe it is like one of the oldest rides, actually, better than AT. It's been there for 20 years, and they still have it because it's like everyone's favorite ride. And yeah, it takes like an hour at least to get into it, though. It's like 2-hour queue time, though. But remember, I'm a Swedish Viking, right? And we love standing in queue. Maybe that's why I love it so much, going to parks, because I'm like, yes, queuing, queue time. Anyway, this park course in live performance music is very great. I love it, as mentioned earlier, obviously seeing Midori especially, and having fire behind her looks spectacular. So, yeah, good visualization. And I think it's fitting, right? I always talk about this in my own design, when I work with gaming and so on, is that I think it's very important to have a red line, right? To have, it has to make sense, both like visually and mechanically in a game. Then you have to make a video game, right? And I really dislike if you have, let's say, some with ice powers, water powers, right? And they have like red hair and like a red dress or whatever. You know what I mean? My brain is like, no. It might sound cliche, right? But if you're gonna have a woman with like water magic, she's gonna wear a kind of blue or azure, maybe a purple dress, right? Because that's what you kind of brain will think. Yeah, like that kind of red line is very important. So when they have something called set the world on fire, of course you need to have fire, you need to have pyromanics, you need to have pyrotechnical stuff, of course you need to have pyro stuff going on in the live performance, and it has to be very red, so I love that. In the beginning, what do it reminds me of? Video game music. Yeah, this feels like very much like a JRPG. This is like new music to me. Listen to that. This reminds me a lot of, for example, Dancing Mad, right? Something like that. How it does to me reminds me a lot of like classic, like mid 90, early 2000 Japanese role-playing game music, where you have this kind of like, like the start of a boss battle, right? Typically a final boss battle. So let's go to that song if you heard it. You know this thing? It's kind of similar. 6-7 chords, but I mean, so I mean, very fit that new BM would so fit to it. The final boss battle, This song is 17 minutes long, so I'm jumping a bit here so we can get started. Before it's like 17 minutes. I'm jumping like 10 minutes now because this one is particularly long for him. But then of course it gets started, I don't know, what do you guys think? I found it kind of similar to that classic, like, old school JRPG boss battle, right? And especially with, of course, Nobuya, he does it all the time, right? He loves to have that kind of, the shorter start in the beginning, right, of the song. Then he gets like, turn, yeah, and then he gets, then he starts smacking it, right? Very classic him, and he obviously is everyone's, like, favorite artist, right, in the role-playing music, so he's, like, inspired everyone else, right, to kind of follow his, his track record, I would say. But anyway, guys, that will be subscribed and have a great day.